The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of November 11th, 2019. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. With me, as always, Kevin Reevy. What up, Reevy?
I'm so excited.
What up, CJ?
Didn't you sing that song last week?
No, it was a few weeks back.
That was a few weeks back, yeah. Yep. How's everybody doing today?
I thought of it because I was trying to come up with all of the Saved by the Bell characters and their names, and I was thrown because I kept thinking Haskins. Because the quarterback of the Redskins is now Haskins. He's now the most prominent Haskins in my mind, whereas Mr. Belding was the original Haskins. He's the Dennis Haskins of previously that took up the Haskins space in my mind. So we're starting off hot.
Might Be Sports.
What a start.
Might Be News Network is sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Go to eunomiacbd.com. That's EUNOMIA CBD.com. Use promo code MBN to get 20% off and free shipping and free shit. People have been hitting me up saying, I used your promo code. It's great. And then, a little while later, they hit me up. They're like, dude, they sent me a bunch of stuff that I didn't order. That is one of the perks of listening to these shows and using this promo code. It's fantastic. We had April on Relatable Radio. Check it out from yesterday. Very, very cool. They're doing a bunch of really cool stuff, including sponsoring us. So shout out to them, and shout out to everybody that's used the promo code. Fun fact, we don't make any money off of the promo code. Any money that we make from that, I asked April and Eunomia to give back to the people in the form of this free stuff that they're getting. So enjoy it. Get it. If you've been thinking about trying CBD and you haven't been sure about it, check out Eunomia. It's real deal game changer stuff. MBN.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast.
You down with CBD?
Yeah, you know me. All right. So
we didn't even rehearse that. That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was pretty good.
That was good. You can tell that we've been doing a podcast together for a little while.
Exactly.
That's chemistry.
Damn right.
So, sports time.
Sports time. Sports. With a Z.
First question I have for this week is, what has Joel Embiid shown you so far this season?
I don't know. It's too early.
Too early.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I heard there was talk because of the way that they lost. This was now, I guess it was last week in Denver was the game that everybody keeps talking about because the Sixers were ahead by a good margin without Ben Simmons, all that, and just a total fourth quarter collapse. And you could see Djokovic just kind of running by Joel Embiid. Now, physically, the Jovovic or whatever, however you say his name, looks way more out of shape than Joel Embiid. But you could just tell by the end of that game that Embiid was gassed.
Yeah, his conditioning has been called into question, even by his head coach.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's interesting. I don't know.
So I'm concerned about that moving forward. Also, Ben Simmons still questionable. They play tonight when we're recording. He's still questionable. I mean, Sixers sitting up there with a nice 6-3 record right now. I'm not mad at it. I knew that West Coast road trip was going to be challenging for them. I didn't think they were going to lose 3 out of 4, but shit happens. They lost Ben Simmons.
The NBA.com power rankings, you got to go scrolling. Yeah. They're number 10. Yeah. Number 10 is it's brutal. Behind teams they have the Boston Celtics number 1 right now, which is kind of brutal just to consider that they, what they lost, that they were still able to, they added by subtracting, I think, a little bit by losing Kyrie Irving. Makes you wonder how good he really is and how much of a team guy he is when he doesn't have, LeBron James running the show.
I think with Kyrie, it's just this thing where cancer in the locker room. I mean, you see that in basketball a lot, but you also see it in every sport. You have players that just are toxic to be around. And from a production standpoint or from an overall athletic standpoint, like you just can't be around people like that. Jimmy Butler, we talked about that in Minnesota. He was just somebody at that point for that team. See, I don't think it carries over for everybody no matter where they go. Certain players, yes. Kyrie certainly seems to be that way. Chris Paul is another one. But like Russ, I feel like Russell Westbrook, people like playing with him, even though he seems like he would be a cancerous type, like a toxic type. When he gets places, people are excited about it. I don't know. You don't get that vibe from somebody like a Kawhi. You don't get that vibe. You didn't get that vibe from Jimmy Butler when he came to Philly. You certainly don't get it from him in Miami right now. They look pretty good.
Miami looks good. They got a guy. Might have his name wrong. Nunn, something like that. I think his last name is Nunn. Nunn. Fascinating guy. He was undrafted a few years back. Mm-hmm. And then I think he played overseas or in the G League, whatever the hell they're calling it now. And he's putting up numbers, like really good numbers. He's shooting threes.
Yeah.
Averaging, like last time I checked, 16 to 18 a game.
We're going to that game. We're going to Sixers Heat mid-December. I'm gonna wear my Jimmy Buckets jersey. Probably throw it in the flamethrower when they come out. Just take it off and just launch it into the flamethrower, just for effect.
You know what I'm seeing mid-December? Joe Conklin.
Oh, yeah.
You know Joe Conklin?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know Joe Conklin,
You're
one
not
of the
from
greatest
Philly.
impression guys.
Yeah, he is good.
I don't know if you call them impressionists. I think you can.
It's not an impersonator, right?
Nobody thinks you're going to see a painter.
Right. An impersonator is somebody who steals an identity, right? That wouldn't be the word.
I think so.
Yeah.
An impression guy. So yeah, I'm gonna see him in Westchester.
Cool.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
That'll be fun.
That'll be cool.
That'll be fun.
And I got to get out to a Sixers game. Flyers not necessary.
Yeah. We had
I might
fun.
see a Flyers game.
Let me tell you something.
It's fun to go out, but it's yeah.
I didn't mention that. Maybe I did, but maybe I didn't. I don't remember. So I'm going to talk about it now. We went to. It was early in the season. It still is early in the season, but it was a couple weeks ago. We went down to Wells Fargo Center to see the Flyers play. Shit, I don't even remember who they played. Shit, I really don't. Anyway, might have been Dallas. It was Dallas. So we go out there. I was disgusted with the fan base. Disgusted with the fan base. The Flyers looked good in the first 45 seconds. This was a game. It was like they lost 4-1. They scored a goal in the first 45 seconds. People were excited. Whatever. Barely in their seats. You know what I mean? Barely made it to their seats yet.
So I'll be Joe Conklin doing an impression of these guys. All right, this is my impression of Joe Conklin doing an impression of the fans after the first goal. Woo, Flyers! Fly guys, fly guys! Woo, we're up 1-0. Doesn't get any better than this. This is gonna be a great day. High five.
Pretty accurate.
Okay, now continue.
So then Dallas goes and they score three goals in a row. Dude, nobody was cheering, nobody was booing, nobody was doing anything. It was just lackadaisical, just hanging out.
I feel discontent. Why are the beers $14?
Dude, the only reason we were there, I see that beer stein. You might not be able to because there's something in the way. But I got a really nice beer stein from the Flyers. That I guarantee most people were there just for that.
Was that the giveaway?
Yeah. Yep.
That's hardcore,
dude. I was all about it.
I didn't know they were able to give away things that weigh over 14 ounces.
Yeah. Dude, it's nice.
They don't land cushiony on the ice.
They didn't give it. See, that's the thing. They didn't give it to us until we were on our way.
Oh, that's amazing.
They didn't even give it to us. They gave it to us outside of the stadium. We had to be outside of it to get them. Probably for that exact reason.
Oh, for sure.
But I was blown away by just how nobody really seemed to give a shit that the Flyers were getting trounced in that game. And I was to the point where I was just so turned off by the whole experience that I just started yelling at fans. Like, you guys are fucking frauds. You know what I mean? Like, you're here in a Flyers jersey. You're all flyered up, sitting there looking like a douche, doing nothing. Nothing. Tell these players how much they suck. They have got to get fucking Giroux out of here. Gone. If you're going to get Wayne Simmons out of town, why would you keep Claude Giroux? That's all I'm going to say. He's had a
Claude Giroux, more like Claude Giroux, because your play is so insulting.
It's garbage. I don't even know what their record is right now. They've been doing better, but
you spent a fortune to go to a damn Flyers game. You can't afford to actually care about the game, because if they lose, it feels like you really wasted your time.
Right. Luckily,
you did.
We didn't pay the game. We didn't pay for the game.
You went to a hockey game.
Right. We didn't pay for the tickets though. My brother John, shout out to John. He won them on a charity giveaway, like a,
So he gave away his charity giveaway. That's how much nobody wants to go to a hockey game. Oh man, we won the hockey tickets. Damn it.
Oh man. Ghost Kev's just like driving into oncoming traffic right now. So yeah, I don't know. The NBA, back to the NBA. I'm excited about it. I'm glad that the Lakers have finally lost. It looked like they look a lot better than I was anticipating them being. I know it's still very early. I know that once basically any of the two star players on that team gets injured, they're sunk. And I can't stand the little white guy that has the same hair as LeBron on their team. I don't even know his name. Caruso, something like that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen too much of the Lakers play this year.
I haven't seen too much of them play. I've seen a lot of their highlights, of course, because everybody on sports television just won't shut up about them. But I don't know. They're very, very unlikable team as far as I'm concerned.
Well, LeBron, his situation is going to be the same, similar to what I've been talking about with Tom Brady, how, no one beats time. And you look at, with the Patriots coming off their first loss, and Brady, he's got 4 games, I think, this year where he's thrown either 1 or 0 touchdowns. He's not the Tom Brady of old, not the same guy, because he's 42 years old.
Right.
No shit.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to be talking about, where's he going to play next year? Maybe he opts out, he plays somewhere else.
So dumb.
Guess what? You don't want him. He's going to be a 43-year-old quarterback. I don't care who he is. So the same kind of deal with LeBron James. It's not like when Michael Jordan played and he could play at a high level when he's 40 years old. It's different now. These athletes are so fine-tuned and so perfect in every way, physically.
Yeah.
He will get to he'll hit a wall. And I don't think that kind of thing shows itself now, but it does later in the year. So come the end of the year, I want to see where LeBron's at and if he's still able to take over like he's used to doing. So, I mean, I haven't, like I said, I haven't really watched the games. I don't know how they're winning, if it's, him taking over games or not. But it just feels like if he's taking a big, he's taking the team on his back, so to speak, him and Anthony Davis, if that's the way it's been going, and that's why they're winning games, I don't think he's going to be able to keep that up.
No, not with how stacked the West is. No. And I don't know who's going to come out of the West on top. It's way too early to tell. But I've said it before. It sucks. Like, I wish I could watch more of the West Coast games because they're so competitive and all the teams out there are so good. But they just start too late. A 9 o'clock start time is just does not work for me. Can't happen. Can't happen. On to some NFL stuff. So, did you learn anything from this weekend, NFL game-wise? Is there anything that you learned? Any big takeaway for you?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing... So every week I try to make like a big prediction. I'm not really big into... I throw out like the bold take on social media.
Yeah.
And it's weird because the way I had 2 picks. And if you would have taken both of my bets, and you bet $100 on each bet, you would have came out up $100. But the thing was, one of those bets was so bad, and I was so wrong, and I was so destroyed with my guess that the Bengals could possibly beat the Ravens, and it was the most lopsided game the other way on Sunday. But my other pick was that Seattle would beat the 49ers straight up.
Yeah.
So if you get 2-1 on your money and you're betting both games $100, you come out plus $100.
Right.
So I didn't do that bet. But it kind of tells you, I mean, the 49ers, they got this weird thing going on, which I love. I didn't watch the whole game. These things go on too late. Who can watch these things on a Monday?
Yeah.
Nobody if you're on the East Coast. But they do this thing I love that the Giants always seem to do against Philadelphia, and that's like the quick strike pass.
Yeah.
They're really good at that. And I love that in the NFL. I think it's the best of all worlds, really. You can't, throw the deep pass. You can just slash, and you save your quarterback potentially from getting hit because the defense doesn't have enough time to get to him. It's kind of what Tom Brady's been doing his whole career. But, man, it seemed to be working early on, and I was wondering, shoot, they're going to destroy Seattle. They're up 10-0. And, again, I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't see how it all unfolded, but I kind of love that style of play. So maybe I think the 49ers were actually a little better than I thought they were. Yeah. And Seattle, I've been saying all year that Russell Wilson's the best quarterback. Seattle is one of the best teams, and how we overreact every week. For a while there, people were saying that 3 weeks ago, I was complaining on here saying, certain people calling the Packers maybe the best team in the NFC. And then it's just who's the trendy team every week that just had a convincing win. Yeah. But Seattle's always been there with the best quarterback in the NFL. So I think they should always be in the conversation. And then on the flip side of that, the Ravens, who, I've kind of been not shitting on the whole team, but the idea that they can win this way with a running quarterback, which, to be fair, you can win that way, but it won't last.
Yeah.
And
might last you long enough to get a championship, though.
Yeah, if he can keep doing what he's doing, but he's running the ball so much, and the only highlights are the running plays. He's not throwing the damn ball, and all it takes is one hit. So he keeps putting himself out there. Maybe I'll talk more about that later, but
I mean, I just pulled it up. He was 15 for 17 on Sunday, Lamar Jackson. 15 for 17, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. Granted, you're correct 100% that the only highlight from the game I saw was his one running touchdown, and that was the thing of beauty, though. It was very Mike Vickish, with the spin move and like I said, I love how he can just throw the brakes on. Just throw the brakes on, make him miss, and if he can keep that up, then that one hit that we're talking about, that we agree can and most likely will eventually happen.
That's what kills me.
But I like to enjoy things as they're happening, though. And I know you don't like the Ravens. I don't like the Ravens either. Difference is I really like this kid playing for Louisville. You don't watch college football, but I follow him through college. I want to see him do well.
I actually think defenses are going to figure it out, too.
They will, but they have to catch him. They have to hit him. That's the part that they can't figure out. You can set up whatever scheme and whatever thing that you think will work best against what he's got to work with, but those breaks, those spin moves, those elusive movements that he is making and no one else is really making that way, that's the thing that people are going to, it's going to be hard for them to figure that stuff out. What I learned this week, watching some of the games, it's just we've talked about it. And how overreactionary and just pathetic some of the people, media outlets covering these games are. You look at all right, granted, a 26-9 victory, Falcons over the Saints. It was unexpected. But don't play with me like the Falcons are back in any way, shape, or form. They're still a 2-7 football team. They're not back. They're not winning anything. They beat a divisional rival at home. I get it. It's a big win. That's a big win. Can't take anything away from it. But come on, man. Don't use the term, and they're back. Mitch Trubisky threw for 3 touchdowns in the win over the Lions. They won 20-13. All of a sudden, the Mitch Trubisky's in a conversation for being a good quarterback? No, stop it. Stop it. I learned that I just need to start watching this shit on mute. I just have to do it. I just can't take some of these people on TV. I'm just like, you're literally just saying this for no reason at all other than just to have something to talk about. When we do the show, we talk about things objectively. We talk about things that are actually happening. We talk about things that are real. When I turn on ESPN, it's just all speculation. It's all overreaction. And it's all, and I single ESPN out. It's everywhere. It's not just them. It's in the newspaper. It's certainly in our local radio here in Philly. That shit drives me crazy, dude. Crazy. Sixers lose 2 games in a row, and all of a sudden, they might not make the playoffs. Shut the fuck up. What?
Right.
People are still on the phone talking about Nick Foles. What? He's not even on our bench. He's not even here. Why are we talking about it? The Eagles aren't. The Eagles don't have the record that they have right now because of Carson Wentz. They have the record that we have right now because they traded to get they got Deshaun Jackson, who's played a total of 8 plays this season. Other than that, there's nothing. They just got Jordan Matthews again. Does anybody give a shit about that?
Well, that could be all right.
Is that a win now move? Him and Carson work fine together. It is.
He's had some decent games when he's come back in the past. But the thing is, the evaluation of Carson Wentz is kind of crazy this year with people. I tend to, I know that I lean as a pro Carson guy. But really, you're not being an apologist. If you look at these games and these passes, like these big passes that have been dropped, they matter. And I think when the drop passes pile up and the losses pile up, there's a tendency for people to say, well, it's not a coincidence. Like, this stuff is happening for a reason. You can't keep saying that, Carson is losing because of these drop passes. Well, if you take it case by case, you could. You could say these big drop passes are the reason they've lost these games, because there's been huge passes that have been dropped that are game changers. You could easily make a case that 2 of their 4 losses, at least 2 of their 4 losses, you turn one of those drops, one of those big drops in each of those games into catches, and it's way more likely they win that game than lose it.
Right.
Now, you don't know what happens after that play, so it's not a guarantee.
Sure.
But I'm talking Vegas odds.
Your
shift.
odds go up. Yep.
Those in-game odds suddenly shift to the Eagles' favor, and maybe it's just one game changes because of those.
If
just one game changes,
right,
they're alone in first place in the NFC East and in really good position right now. I think Carson's playing fine. As far as I can tell, he's had one bad game.
Yeah, in Dallas.
And he doesn't have the big gaudy. He's not throwing 3 touchdowns a game. And I think it's because their offense is they're trying to figure it out week by week.
Yeah.
They don't have game-changing wide receivers. I think they thought they had more than they do in Alshon Jeffrey when the season started. I think he's done in Philly by the end of this year. Because he can't bring – I don't know what he really brings to the table anymore. If he's not going to go up there and catch a contested pass and he doesn't have the speed, he's just not the same player. I don't know what you're getting from him.
It's got to be the end of Nelson Aguilar in Philly, too.
And then Aguilar, I'm more okay with him, but he's going to have to get paid at some point. It might be this offseason, so he might be going too. You got to bring in that star guy. And I think now they recognize that, and they kind of thought they had it and could get away with it with Alshon Jeffrey. They knew he wasn't a star, but
or Deshaun Jackson.
A star enough. And Deshaun Jackson, again, he's one of those guys that kind of, they figured let's get a collection of B's.
Yeah.
And we'll be in good shape.
Right.
Where Andy Reid used to think, let's get a collection of C's. So you automatically think you're doing okay. But then you see what Dallas is doing with Amari Cooper, who's an A wide receiver, a number 1 guy, and it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott, for all I've talked shit about Dak Prescott, he's having a great year, statistically and otherwise. I mean, I like to grade quarterbacks on, on winning games. So the Cowboys seem to find a way to lose games.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put that entirely on Dak Prescott, but where I think Carson Wentz's stats don't really tell you how good he is, I think Dak Prescott's stats give you an inflated view of how good he is.
Yeah.
Part
of that is because of Amari Cooper. Part of that is absolutely because of Ezekiel Elliott. You know, he's got the parts around him, to the supporting cast around him, rather, to bring out the best in his game. Whereas Carson Wentz has Zach Ertz.
And they're just figuring it out.
I love Zach Ertz, but my man gets 0 yards after the catch, and it drives me bananas.
If they figure it out, let's say they're done. Well, they are done hoping Deshaun Jackson comes back, and they're like, all right, this is who we got. Now let's figure it out, and we know who we got. We got Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Aguilar, Jeffrey, all these guys, Mac Hollins. This is who we have. We have to make it work. And do you want a team, that goes into this season, with big-time players like the Falcons, all-pro guys that just can't do it from the jump? Or do you want to be a team like the Eagles who could potentially figure it out along the way and they're hot heading into the playoffs? You don't know which way it's going to go. It could totally go south for the Eagles right now, but if they are figuring it out and they just need time, then it doesn't matter what's happened so far, because right now they're in a dead heat with the Cowboys, and they have one game left against them. They win that game, they're in really, really good shape. So right now, the season starts now. As cliche as that sounds, the season starts right now. If they can turn that around. It's a huge if. But at least they know who they have. There's no question marks. I presume they're not going to add anybody else of significance. So they know who they got, and they just have to make it work.
Yeah.
And get better. And there's a possibility they can make it work. They've got young guys. Miles Sanders has just gotten better as the season's gone along.
Yeah. Yep.
Dallas Goedert just gotten better. Maybe Mac Hollins has something there. Who knows? Maybe Alshon Jeffrey has a second gear he has yet to hit.
Yeah, I've been wondering about Alshon if he's been playing hurt. He has a habit of doing that. I wonder if there's something physically wrong with him.
And he might be around that age. It's still a thing in the NFL around the age of 30. And you're kind of seeing it with a lot of guys. Like Odell Beckham, he's getting up there in age a little bit. When you start to get near 30, I wonder if some guys have relied on their natural ability.
Yeah.
Where the hardworking guys, those are the guys that, make it late into their career, that don't really drop off as much. Jerry Rice played into his 40s. Because he never had those physical tools, but he knew how to work himself into being one of the best wide receivers in football every year. I don't know if Odell Beckham even, factors in being 1 year older.
Right.
I don't think that's part of his mindset going into an off season is, I might be a step slower next year. I should maybe work on how to combat that. Terrell Owens was kind of the best of both worlds. That's why he was so amazing. He had natural ability, but he worked his ass off too. So he kind of played late. He got a little bit, I think, blackballed from the NFL. They just didn't want him anymore, which is weird because in hindsight, what did he really do? It was all that bad. But
made a spectacle of himself.
So I just think Alshon Jeffrey, he's not one of those hardworking guys necessarily, and he's getting to that age. Yeah. He's getting near 30, where, 15 years ago in the NFL, you hit 30 at wide receiver, you're done.
Yeah.
Didn't really matter who you were.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of that left.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to guess some spreads, do clickbait, and go to the week. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, it's Jackie from Relatable Radio. I want to talk to you guys about Eunomia CBD. This stuff is great, and it helps with my stress and my aches and pains. I've tried everything I can get my hands on, from the gummies, pills, droppers, drink enhancers, and they're all fantastic, and they work. Holidays are coming up. Give the gift of Eunomia CBD. It's 100% THC-free, nano-amplified, and third-party lab tested. You can find them at eunomiacbd.com. That's EUNOMIACBD.com. Use promo code MBN and you'll get 20% off plus free shipping, plus free stuff. They're giving exclusive stuff just to the MBN listeners. So what do you have to lose? Go to eunomiacbd.com today. Must be 18 or older to purchase.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Get bonus content each week and head to patreon.com/MBN Network. Your contributions help us make this network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
Welcome back to Might Be Sports. I'm Taylor Cooper. With me is Kevin Reevy, and he's got a Reevy rant. The Reevy rant. Reevy rant. There is an actual sounder coming.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
I did my best.
It's okay. You went for that high note.
Actually, I did approaching my best. It wasn't quite my best.
Well, you know. Next time you'll do better.
Now I know to do it. The Reevy rant.
That was better. You should isolate that. That was kind of cool. Anyway. So this Reevy rant is unofficially sponsored by Mario Kart Tour, the coolest app on my phone right now. It's pretty much the greatest app ever made. If you're not playing Mario Kart Tour on your phone, do it now. Download it. Go to Mario Kart Tour app, iPhone stock jars, and that's where you get it. And don't forget to put in the box Might Be Sports, because you'll get nothing. So anyway, now that we got the ad out of the way, this is going to be a quick Reevy rant. We already touched on it. So if Lamar Jackson wants to be a running back, cool. Fine. He could be a running back. He got all upset when people called him a wide receiver. Well, you're a running back now. You're not a quarterback because you don't throw the damn ball. It's that simple.
He does, Reevy.
He doesn't. He's not going to stay healthy. All we have are like the law of averages here. You're not going to stay healthy. Those dumb parkour guys that jump off buildings and sides of skyscrapers, they die all the time. It's just a matter of time. They're dumb. Lamar Jackson, not going to call him dumb. I'm just saying maybe his coaches are a little dumb. Maybe they should be looking out for him. He's clearly great. One of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. If he pulls it off this season without getting hurt, they may win the Super Bowl. He may win MVP. Good for him. I don't think it's going to happen because that's what stats say. So, but when you say something like that in 2019, it's racist because I'm calling him. You can't run the football as a quarterback. You got to throw it more. It's not a black or white thing. It's not a black or white thing. If you want to be my quarterback, I don't care if you're black or white. That's a direct quote from Michael Jackson. And I second that. But, all right, wait for the wordplay. I don't care if you're black or white. But if you run as a quarterback, you're going to be black and blue.
Oh.
This has been my CBS Sports Minute. I'm John Feinstein. Out.
Great job. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. I'm not even gonna respond to it because it's your rant. That's the thing.
Right. That's the thing.
I don't have a point to counter that except for Lamar Jackson is really, really fantastic, and I hope he stays healthy.
But he's not gonna.
CJ, you ready for guess the spreads?
Yes.
You know what's crazy though?
What?
Like I don't root for injuries unless they're Cowboys, but
you're waiting for this one to happen.
I am kind of rooting for it. If I'm going to be totally honest, I'm kind of rooting for him to get hurt. That's not cool.
Everybody likes to be right.
Yeah, I just want to be right.
Right.
I don't care about the Ravens.
You will be eventually. Maybe.
Fun fact.
What?
I don't know if bye week. Sorry for interrupting you there, but this is a cool fun fact. So anyway, I don't know if it's a thing. Is bye week? I don't know, you want to call like away jersey a thing, like bye week other team jersey. Is that a thing? Or is that just something I do? On the bye week, I wear a jersey of another team.
Oh, no, I don't usually. Well, that's not true. I have done that in the past, yes. Not as a thing.
My girlfriend was like, why are you doing this? This is dumb. She was
what other jersey do you have?
And I'm like, it's a thing, but it might not be a thing. Well, normally, I go with my Brett Favre's Vikings jersey because it rocks. It's the coolest thing ever. But this week, as I was hanging out in Lancaster, which is also, it's kind of close to Baltimore, and there's some Ravens fans. I'm like, I'm going to put on a Ravens jersey. And I just got shit for it all day long. Because
you have a Ravens jersey?
I have a Joe
There's
Flacco
Steelers
Ravens
fans out
jersey.
there.
So, Joe Flacco went to the University of Delaware, and I graduated high school at the University of Delaware. So
there's the connection.
So there's the connection. We were at the same place at totally different periods of time.
Wow.
So we have like a kinship there.
You're like 1 in a million.
Right. So, which if you think about it, there's like billions of people in the world. So like 1 in a million is basically like second cousins.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got a Joe Flacco jersey. It's not real. It's from China.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I mean, the real ones are probably from China. It's just
Yes.
which one has the contract and which are just, being made from the same exact materials and costs 1/10 of the other one.
Correct.
This is like an extended rant, I think. This is great.
Okay.
This is bonus rant.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's a thing, like the bye-week jersey deal, but that's what I was doing. And ironically, it was like I was rooting for the Ravens with my Ravens jersey, but against Lamar Jackson because I had the Joe Flacco thing. When in reality, I was making no statement at all whatsoever. I was rooting for the Bengals the entire time. So it was just extra dumb.
Yeah, it is extra dumb.
But then the Ravens just killed him. And now I have to start thinking, forget Lamar Jackson. This could be a defense thing. And the Ravens are just that good on defense. Marcus Peters looks amazing. Really good cornerback. That was a really good pickup. Really think maybe a certain NFC East team should have made that move.
Yeah.
But it was weird. Like, nobody saw that move coming. Because the Rams just made the move for what's his name? Jalen Ramsey. And they trade their best cornerback at the same time. Like, I don't even think teams thought he was available. I bet if you asked the Eagles, they would have been like, well, we found out about the Ravens getting him. Like, we found out he was available when he was traded. I bet that's how that conversation went. Because who would have thought the Rams would be trading their starting cornerback? I don't know what the details are surrounding that. Like, he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year or whatever, but Jalen Ramsey's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So
Right.
it's really strange, that move, to me, looking back on it. But the Ravens look really good on defense, and you combine those two factors, we'll see. But Lamar Jackson's going to get hurt, so it's all going to go to shit either way. And you cannot win the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. You heard it here first. And they have a RG3, so maybe they could.
Maybe they could.
Actually, you know what? You're going to hear this first. If Lamar Jackson goes down with a season-ending injury, they'd be dumb not to sign Colin Kaepernick. Because then why not just, who cares if RG3 gets hurt? Next running quarterback up. That you can just keep signing running quarterbacks. They'll look into Mike Vick at some point, and then Kaepernick goes down. It's actually a brilliant strategy. Now I'm starting to think the Ravens are geniuses. They don't care if he gets hurt. They'll just put in another athletic guy at quarterback who doesn't throw the football.
I don't know, man. I think that if he stays healthy, they have a really good chance at making it deep into the playoffs this year.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I think that if he stays healthy, he has a really good chance at winning the MVP this year. I feel that way. And he's made significant strides from last year to this year to be better at passing. And I see no real reason for that to not to continue. We'll just have to see. Because I feel we've been talking about him a lot, and we definitely have two different viewpoints on it, but it all comes down to the idea that yes, he will in fact get hurt. If this is the way that he's going to play for his entire career. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. But I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting to see because, like I said, I really enjoyed watching him play in college. And college is totally different, as everybody knows. But that style of play is highly successful in college. Highly successful because that's just none of these guys want to throw the ball in college.
Well, we were talking about who the other MVP candidate is, Russell Wilson. Nobody has more rushing yards as a quarterback since he's come into the league. So Russell Wilson's number one in that list since, I guess, 2011, 2012, whenever he entered the league. Nobody has more rushing yards. So that would tell you, well, shoot, if the top two MVP candidates are running quarterbacks, then that tells you something. And Russell Wilson never gets hurt. The difference is Wilson racked up all those yards early in his career, and he's very selective with where he runs now. And he's not at all a running quarterback. He's just a mobile one. He runs when he has to. Lamar Jackson, totally different. He runs as the primary option most of the time. But it is interesting that those two guys are leading that conversation. And I've said it. That's the best kind of quarterback you want. There's a reason why those guys are constantly winning Heisman trophies. In college, it works. It would make a ton of sense that it would work in the pros too. You just can't stay healthy doing it that way. So we'll see they're going to make the playoffs. The Ravens are going to be there. Game 1, that's when it's going to be decided, because last year, game 1, Jackson looked awful. And that's going to be a huge monkey to get off his back if he can't figure out a way to turn that around.
Right.
So game 1 of the playoffs is when everything's going to be riding on him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You ready for Guess the Spread?
I am.
Do it.
All right. Steelers at Browns.
You go first.
So weird. The Steelers shouldn't be. They won last week, and they didn't have anybody playing. Really strange, but there's a lot of weird games like that, like with the Saints losing, and one of those weeks where you should just stay away from gambling altogether. But I'm going to guess this is in Cleveland.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to overreact to, I think Baker had a decent game. 2 touchdown passes, I believe, 250-ish yards.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
And they have Kareem Hunt going now, and they got like all the talent in the world. They have an amazing talent. It's insane. They've got 2 Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers.
Baker Mayfield went 26. I'm sorry to interrupt. 26 for 38, 238 yards passing, and 2 TDs.
Yeah. Which actually, that's not great on his yards per pass. If he completed, 26 passes for 2, so less than 10 yards.
His QBR was 68.3.
Yeah, he's looking at maybe 8-ish yards per pass. Not great. He's, I guess, not getting the ball down the field vertically where he should, because he's got just 2 fantastic wide receivers. He's just doesn't have a good feel for it right now. He should be running the damn ball more, to be honest. He got nothing left to lose. If he gets hurt, who gives a shit?
Right.
I made that argument before. I said ironically, he should be running the damn ball. He's not doing nearly enough of that. That's what made him great in college. Why he would totally walk away from that entirely, I think, is dumb. He should be trying to mirror exactly what Russell Wilson is. But he's not doing that. And maybe he'll figure it out. It's just going to take time. But, sorry, I went on too long there. I like Cleveland with this, -2.
I'm going to go Cleveland by 3.
Cleveland -2.5.
Woo! Right in the middle. Split that.
This is going to be a good one.
Falcons at Panthers.
Falcons coming in hot off of that win. Panthers coming in hot off of that loss. Going Panthers by 3.
People are really going to overreact with this stuff. And maybe they should, because the Falcons are loaded. They just haven't been able to make it happen. And in gambling, it doesn't matter what you've done before. It's what you're going to do now. So I think it's going to be Panthers -2.
Panthers 5.5.
So they don't believe in the Falcons.
Bills at Dolphins.
Bills don't like them. Dolphins maybe not as bad as everybody thought, but they're still pretty bad. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen's had a pretty decent year. He's pretty talented. He's a guy that's kind of mobile, knows what he's doing. Can sling it. I'm going to go Bills -7.
Oh, that's a really good pick. I'm going to go Bills -6.
Bills -5.5.
Whew.
Cowboys at Lions.
That line would have been double digits if we're talking about the 3-0 Bills and the 0-3 Dolphins.
Right. Right.
What's the next one?
Cowboys at Lions.
Cowboys at Lions. There's no way Cowboys lose in Detroit this week, in my opinion. I'm going to go Cowboys by 3.
This is at Lions.
Yes.
Man, that could make a difference.
It could. Both coming off of the loss.
I've been kind of high on the Lions all year, and that's maybe a horse I got to jump off of because I don't know. They just 3-5-1, and eventually you are what your record suggests.
Right.
And, well, I mean, now they don't have Matt Stafford, and I don't know when they're going to get him back. So that's a good point, too. They're getting them at the right time. Damn it, Cowboys. All right, well, yeah, if Stafford's still out, that means I don't think he's definitely going to be still out. So Cowboys minus, you know what, Cowboys, I want to say -7, but I think with Stafford out, you would jump all over that. So it should be higher. So I'm going to go Cowboys -8.5.
Cowboys -4.5.
That's crazy to me.
It's crazy.
Broncos.
It's a road game and everything. That's crazy.
Broncos at Vikings.
Is it me?
That's me. Broncos at Vikings. I love the Vikings. I think the Vikings are the second best team in the NFC. Seahawks look pretty good. Vikings really turned it on. Vikings by 5.
What's the game? Vikings and who?
Broncos.
At Broncos?
No, at Vikings.
Oh, at Vikings, I had it the other way around. All right, if it's at Vikings, I got to bump it up to, I said 5. And you're only supposed to get 2 for home, but I'm going to say 9. Going all the way to 9.
I'm going to say Vikings by 7.
Vikings by 10.5.
Good Lord.
Texans at Ravens.
Texans at Ravens. Go Ravens by 10.
Way too much.
Texans. Oh,
Texans are pretty good.
sorry. I was thinking of somebody else.
All right. Coming off a bye, I believe.
They are
coming
coming
off a bye, which is good.
I'm going to still go Ravens, not by 10, though. I'm sorry. I heard that
Maybe
wrong.
this is one of those things where I've always said I should test out this theory and maybe put my money where my mouth is. And if I'm wrong, just, take the hit and come on here on the podcast next week and say I was wrong about Lamar Jackson and it just works and it's going to keep working and defenses will not figure it out. Because my other caveat to all this stuff is that not only will you get hurt, I think defenses eventually figure it out. They have that bye week, that extra time period to really focus on the Ravens and what Lamar Jackson's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if this factors into Vegas, but I'm going to say Vegas has the Ravens by 4. What do you got?
Ravens -4.5.
Damn it.
Wow.
So close. All right, now I'm saying take the Texans all goddamn day long. Take the Texans, and I may be totally wrong, but I'm gonna bet. I never bet. Very rarely. I didn't bet this last week. I just throw bets out there for fun. I will put money on it. I'll bet the Texans straight up, and we'll see how it comes out next week.
Okay.
All right.
Jags at Colts.
Shoot. Well, who's the quarterback of the Colts right now?
Brissett.
Is he still? I thought he was hurt.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, I think
he
he is
hurt?
hurt. Yeah.
Sorry, who's playing the Colts? It's who in Colts?
Jaguars.
Jaguars and Colts. Is Foles playing?
Yeah.
Okay. Tells you how little I've been paying attention to these two teams.
Brian Hoyer is the
Right. Brian Hoyer.
Colts quarterback.
Okay. I got to look this up.
Last week he threw for 18 out of 39 for 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks.
He's in both games. The passing yardage has been low, but he had like 3 touchdowns the first game and now like 3 picks the second. So he's no good. So, all right, shit. goddamn. What do you do? I guess it's a pick. That's all I can say.
What's the game? Who is it again?
It's Jags at Colts.
I'm going Jags by 3.
Colts by 3.
Damn.
Saints at Bucks.
Saints bounce back, win by 6.
What if the Saints are just terrible now? What if, you know what, they are, let's be what we hate about ESPN and all those guys, and we'll talk about how terrible the Saints are. They're overrated. They were just exposed.
They're garbage now.
And the Buccaneers, they're 3-6, but they're a strong 3-6. They just beat the Cardinals, and I really do like the Cardinals. I like Kyler Murray. I think he's got tiny hands. He's got tiny little hands, just like our president, some people say. If you want to get political, let's get political. I think that's how the song goes. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. This is at the Saints?
It's at the Bucks.
At the Bucks. I always get it wrong. Saints at Bucks. I'm going to say people are going to totally disregard what happened last week, and Saints by... It should be Saints by 10, but I'm going to say Saints by 8.
Saints by 5.5.
Did you make a pick?
Yeah, he did 5.
Oh, really? God damn, you almost got it. Pretty good. Really? 5.5? That's crazy. I feel like you got to bet on the Saints. Forget what happened last week. That was last week.
Jets at Redskins.
There's a few games I like. Jets at Redskins. Well, I think the Redskins are a little bit of a mess. Jets are a huge mess. This could go either way. Kind of when I can't figure it out and both teams suck, I like to go pick. So I'll be consistent and say a pick.
Who was it again?
Jets at Redskins.
Jets at Redskins. That's why I forgot, because this is like the most forgettable game of the year.
It's going to be so bad.
Jets at Redskins. I'm going Redskins by 3.
Darnold has regressed.
Redskins by 1. Cardinals at 49ers.
Oh, man. 49ers by 10.
I unrealistically like the Cardinals. I got to stop with that nonsense.
That's nonsense.
It's got to be more than 10. 10.5 is jumping out at me. 11 is a weird number to land on. 12 seems too much, so I'll say 10.5.
49ers by 11.5.
Damn it. I knew it. So
Bengals at Raiders.
I just said 11. Bengals at Raiders is going to come out with... The Raiders are a hot team right now. People like them. I liked them the whole year, and then I kind of jumped off the bandwagon, unfortunately, for a week or two. Now I'm ashamed. Should have stuck to my guns. Raiders by 7.
I'm going to go Raiders by 6.
Raiders by 10.5.
Yeah. Think about how, again, like we talked about things changing since week 3. For fuck's sake, that game, if it was played in week 3, is a pick all goddamn day long.
Yeah, you're right.
People
you're totally
are thinking
right.
the Bengals and the Raiders, same team.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Patriots at Eagles.
Eagles by 14, 15.
Eagles by 5.
No, wait, stop. You know that's wrong. Right?
For
You
Vegas?
don't really believe that?
Then Vegas, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Vegas, I'm going Patriots by 5.
This isn't like Vic Damone from South Philly. Yo, we got the Eagles by 5. Come on. I mean, look what happened last week. We won, they lost. Game over, all right? No, this is going to be
Patriots by 5.
Patriots by 3.
Patriots by 3.5.
Damn it. I actually thought I knew that one, and I was kind of cheating, but I still got it wrong.
Bears at Rams.
Do I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, another team I've been too high on is the Rams. I could be totally wrong there. I keep thinking they're going to turn it on because they have all this talent. But Todd Gurley, I guess they go as he goes, and he's not the same guy. So, in that mini rant, I forgot who the Rams were playing. Tell me again.
The Bears.
The Bears. I thought it was the Bears.
The Bears.
Well, the Rams are still pretty solid, and they are going to be favored over the Bears by 8 points.
I'm going to go with Bears by 3, only because Mitch Trubisky is fixed now. He's like all better now. He's like all
liar.
He's really good now.
Rams by 6.5.
Good call.
Chiefs at Chargers for Monday night.
I'm going to go Chiefs by 6.
Well, yeah, I think I'm ready to jump back on the Chiefs bandwagon, even though they haven't looked great. Because Mahomes looked amazing, but they're kind of a mess right now. But I'm ready to jump back on that bandwagon. I think they're going to put it together. I bet Vegas is thinking the same thing, and with a little, they're going to knock off a few points because they look like shit. But Chiefs by 7.5.
Chiefs by 4.
Wow. Did I say that right? What did I say? I said 6, didn't I?
Yeah, he said 6.
No fucking air horns
There's a
this week.
few games that I would love to bet. I would take the Chiefs. I like taking underdogs, so I don't like taking favorites, but I would take the Cowboys, the Chiefs. I don't think those games were right. And then the Texans. I will put money on that one, and I'll report back.
Fair enough. Let's do clickbait.
Terrific.
Oh, I don't have it on you.
Oh man, I was doing my impression. That was me doing an impression of Joe Conklin doing an impression of terrific.
MLB's Nelson Cruz launches ball to the moon at Topgolf, cleared the netting.
That's pretty impressive.
It cleared the back netting, just to be clear.
That's pretty incredible.
That's what he does. He's a long ball guy.
Post Malone giddy about $250,000 Cowboys bling.
What do you got? What did you do? You get like a necklace or something? Oh, I like him even less now.
All that new rap stuff is garbage.
Oh, it's really hard. It's really hard to listen to. It's bad.
Terry Bradshaw, Antonio Brown's career likely over. I wouldn't sign him.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, to continue that story, Irvine, I'm rooting for Antonio Brown. There's nothing wrong with that.
Who said that?
Michael Irvin?
Michael Irvin said. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with rooting for Antonio Brown to get back in the league. The guy was an explosive, fantastic wide receiver. There's no way it's going to happen, though. It would be embarrassing for the league if they let him back in my opinion.
And then you have to, I mean, he could be let back in the league. He's going to be suspended for a certain period of time, but you're going to bring him back. He will have been out of the game for a year. And you have all these questions of how he's going to perform in a team atmosphere and help your team win when he just destroyed the Steelers from the inside out last year. And you have to pay him a ton of money for all these questions. And like we talked about, he's going to be around that mystical age of 30. Might be 31 next year. I'm not exactly sure. I think he's around 30 right now. All that adds, and he's not one of those, 6'2", incredible, Randy Moss-like athletes. He's a smaller dude. I don't really love that guy at 31, 1 year out of the game.
I agree.
Shaq tricked Charles Barkley into making oral sex motions on air.
Those two are the best part of the show. Yeah, like I love watching NBA on what it's TNT, right, with them. Just for them. Like their rivalry, their bickering, the way that they just bicker back and forth. Fantastic.
And I used to think that Papa John's was Papa problematic. But now that Shaq's on board, it's taste terrific. Why is Shaq we know why. But so dumb, so transparent, but I kind of like the idea. It's pretty cool that we didn't just sign him to we didn't just pay him a bunch of money to do commercials. Now It's unclear whether or not he owns the company. Like, I mean, it's kind
He's
of
on
weird.
the board in some capacity.
It's a bold move.
Conor McGregor, not the father of 2-year-old love child. DNA test shows.
Whoops.
UFC Walt Harris stepdaughter, blood found in car, indicative of life-threatening injury.
What happened?
Who was this?
Walt Harris's stepdaughter has been kidnapped. They have a warrant out for the person that they suspected doing it,
No shit.
and they found
blood in the car, and they think it might be a life-threatening injury.
Yeah.
Holy shit! How old is his daughter?
I forget her age. Hold on.
Is she like super young or like teenager?
Oh no, I think she's like early 20s.
Okay,
maybe.
All right. Dude, that's fucking nuts. Shit. Hopefully they find the guy.
I don't know
or the
Walt
person.
Harris. Is he a big name
No.
in UFC?
I've heard his name a couple
I've
times.
heard his name, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen.
A fight? Yeah, I don't think I've seen a fight of his. No.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if I have or not. It doesn't stand out if I would have.
That's a real shame. That's fucked up. Hope everything turns out all right for that. What do you got next?
That's it.
That's it. All right, let's do go to the week and get out of here.
Be Sports presents the greatest of all time.
Of the week. All right, my clear cut. Go to the week this week. Shit. I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
Oh, it's so clear cut.
It's so clear
It's so
cut.
clear cut that
Oh, God.
I just flat out forgot.
I was going to say Aaron Rodgers. You know what? I still will say Aaron Rodgers. Come off of a terrible game the week before. Really came out and helped the Packers get back on track. Up to an 8-2. His stats are underwhelming. 17 and 29, 233 yards, but did enough just to get it done. That's who I was trying to fuck. Aaron Jones. That's the guy.
Clear cut.
Aaron Jones, clear cut. Go to the
Clear
week.
cut.
Go to the week. God damn.
Very convincing.
I look like a penis.
You don't play that one enough. I wonder why. All right, so my guy, who I'm going to draft number 1 in the first round in fantasy football next year, because I'm sick of people saying you don't take quarterbacks in the first round. This is why I lose every year, because you guys are sabotaging me.
Lamar Jackson?
Nope, Patrick Mahomes. So every single game that Mahomes has completed this year, which is, let's see, it's been, I think, 8 games? No, 7 games that he's started and completed. So not the game where he only threw 11 passes and got hurt, couldn't finish the game. Every single game he's either thrown for 300 yards or 3 touchdowns or both. Every single game, it's what he does. They lost to the Titans. Yeah, I'm a big believer in team record closely tied with the performance of the quarterback. But shit, the guy threw 50 passes, 446 yards, 3 touchdowns. His first game back. That's amazing. He's the best quarterback in the NFL by far when he's healthy. Now, it's unfair to Russell Wilson to just say, and you could say Lamar Jackson too, it's unfair to say he's the best quarterback in the NFL this season because he did miss those 2 games, 2.5 games. But, man, when he's on the field, he performs. I almost don't care if you lose 35-32 if you're putting up 446 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you got to win games. They got to figure it out, and they will. I think they'll get back to the dominant Chiefs that they've been in the regular season with him behind center. But, man, every single game this year that he's completed, either 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, or both, he just puts stats on paper, and usually it ends with the Chiefs win. And next week, I think, put some money on those guys. They're going to turn it around. Andy Reid's going to figure it out. They win in the regular season. Come playoff time, who the hell knows? But right now, he's strong. Chiefs are going to get better. Bank on it.
Excellent job this week. both of you, go to patreon.com/MBN Network. You hear the rest of this episode. Also go to eunomiacbd.com. Put the promo code MBN in there. Get 20% off, free shipping, and free stuff. You heard me right. Free stuff. Do it. Kevin Reevey, great job.
And if you want to friend me on Mario Kart Tour, just go to Twitter at 76pack and say hi to me, and we'll exchange friends, and we'll be friends on Mario Kart Tour.
Excellent.
Did I just ruin the show?
We'll see you guys next time.
Damn it.